Have you ever wondered why middle school sucks? If you are not in middle school, you probably don't want to watch this video. If you are in middle school, please keep watching. There are so many voices that you guys have yelling at you, vying for your attention. Many of them are very harmful to you. What I want to do is just share some of my thoughts, hopefully get some positive voices in your head. First, I want to talk about bullying. Bullying has changed over the years, but at the very core of it, it's really just the same. You take one kid, person, adults do it too, and they feel about themselves a type of way. They either don't like themselves, or they think too highly of themselves, or something along those lines. Basically, they're not living in reality when it comes to themselves, whatever that may be, positive or negative. They find someone who they think is less than them in any which way. They begin to do and say things to make themselves feel better about who they are. It's at the expense of others. And honestly, nobody wins when it comes to bullying, guys. Like, seriously, think about it. You are walking down the hall, you have something nasty to say to somebody, their feelings get hurt, and what happens to you? Your friends may either think that you're ridiculous, and then you may lose some friends, or your friends may think it's funny and then maybe later on do that to somebody else, and then that just progresses, and then this bullying train just keeps going. Or you may gain what's called fake popularity, where people are really nice to your face because they think knowing you is going to make them cool, but really behind your back they're saying the same nasty things that you said to the other girl down the hall. Does that make sense? I mean, it can go in so many different directions. It's like a forest fire. You know, if you say one thing about one person, it will spread so quickly. Nobody wins. Nobody. Cyberbullying, same thing, but in my opinion, it's worse. So when I was in middle school, actually it was called junior high, but still same thing. We didn't have cyberbullying because we didn't have online. The only cyberbullying that we had was telephones. You know, if you wanted to bully somebody over the phone, you would call them and hang up, call them and hang up, call them and hang up. And then what you do is you call them and wait for their parents to answer, and then you do the same thing back and forth. And then the person who you were trying to bully got in trouble because the parent usually figured out it was the kid calling. Trust me, been there, done that. Another way would be people would show up at your house uninvited, and they would just kind of like hang around, because where I grew up, there was a lot of latchkey kids. All of our parents worked. Nobody stayed at home. So it was just kids by themselves all the time. And I remember one time these girls came to my house completely uninvited, wanted me to come outside, and I knew, just something in me knew that they wanted to like beat me up or whatever. And what happened was I went outside because they said something about my cat. I had like kittens or something. I went outside and they poured a bottle this big of soda on my head. So I ran back in my house, I locked the doors, they tried to break in my house. That's kind of what we had when it was like outside of school. Those were the things that would happen. But nowadays, you have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Those are like the public-y ones. Then you have things like Snapchat, and then you have other apps that I know about, but I don't wanna tell you about them because they're just awful. But these are apps that weren't created for this way, but this is how people are using them. They're using them to stalk people. They're using them to judge people. People are creating false facades of who they are. It's causing psychological damage on you guys. The feeling that you get when you're involved in drama, it's called adrenaline, and it's an addictive feeling. If you ever heard of an adrenaline junkie, that's really what it is. They get addicted to that feeling of constantly feeling like that excitement. And when they don't have it, they crash. They just go so low. So when you feel that drama and the gossip and the juicy information, you guys feel this like adrenaline, and while it makes you feel really like happy and excited at first, most of you, some of you actually don't even care about this, which is awesome. What happens at first is you feel excited, but then you start to feel either guilty, or you push down the guilt, so then you just add more adrenaline to it, and then you feel guilty, so you push it down, and it's just a cycle. Guys, it's really simple. The biggest way to combat all this like cyberbullying, bullying and stuff is stand up for other people and don't be a bully. If everyone did that, there would be no bullying because nobody would be doing the bullying. I have been bullied a lot in my life, even as a grown-up, guys. There are adult bullies out there. You handle them a little differently than you do in middle school because you have the law. I can just ignore people. I don't have to see them on a daily basis like you guys do at school. So trust me, school bullying is a different level of bullying. I get that. There'll always be bullies in the world. Always. Whether they're physical bullies, emotional bullies, mental bullies, spiritual bullies. I mean, there's all kinds of different bullies. I've said bullies too much. It doesn't really mean anything to me right now. What I'm asking you, specifically you, is to stand up for each other. You may not get along with them. You may have nothing in common with them. But does that mean you have to hate them? No. Does that mean you have to bully them? No. It doesn't mean you have to do these things. When you do these things, you're choosing to do these things. And let me tell you something about popularity. Popularity is crap. Popularity is crap. I'm just telling you right now. It is crap. Talk to most adults. They will tell you that popularity in middle school, high school, and college means absolutely nothing in the real world. Nothing. When I was in elementary school, I know I'm going really far back, but when I was in elementary school, I was really popular. And then I moved to a new school and I became the loser of the school. I mean, complete loser, made fun of, bullied, physically attacked, all this stuff. And did it matter that I was popular in my old school? No. So is it gonna matter when you become an adult? No, it's not gonna matter. Literally, I can remember 6 to 10 events that happened in all of junior high. Right now for you, it seems like it's gonna go on forever and that, you know, you're gonna have all these memories forever, but you're really not. You're not. Don't focus on the day-to-day crap of the social stuff that goes on in school. Don't focus on trying to be popular. Focus on being who you are. Believe it or not, you were actually made pretty cool. All of you, no matter who you are. I don't know who's watching this, but you were made to be awesome, and you're awesome. You're not a loser. You're not lame. You're not whatever stupid words kids have called you before. You're not. You're not. And I can tell you this because I have 2 middle school students. And they have friends. And I talk to these kids. And I know that most of them have been bullied at some point in their life. And they're all awesome kids. So math is telling me that you are also awesome, but you've also probably been bullied. Now, I wanted to give you guys statistics about bullying and all this stuff, but every time I see a statistic that says such and such percentage of middle school or high school kids say they get bullied, it's so low that it's a bunch of poo. The things that I hear, there's no way that like 20-something% of kids are being bullied. There's no way. It's gotta be higher. People just aren't talking about it. Why they're not talking about it, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. Statistics are crap when it comes to this because statistics are only statistics if people are telling the truth. So if they're lying about being bullied or if they're not coming forward, then the statistics don't matter. All I know is that it's happening and kids are doing things to themselves like killing themselves or cutting themselves or developing eating disorders or even becoming addicted to drugs, sex, and alcohol. And I know I kind of sound like an old person when I just said that, but seriously, this is what's happening. Kids are getting addicted to all these things. They're doing these things to themselves. Why? Because they don't feel accepted because they're bullied. So how can we fix it, guys? Accept people. Accept people. It doesn't mean you have to like everybody. It doesn't. Promise, it doesn't. But it also doesn't mean you have to hate everybody. You don't have to hate anybody. You can choose who you spend your time with. Now, obviously, when you're in class with people, you have to interact with people, but that's part of being a human. Even when you're an adult, you have to interact with people you may or may not get along with. If you work in an office, say, I don't work in an office, but say you work in an office and you have 30 other coworkers and you don't really like 15 of them. Does that mean you have to bully them? No. Does it mean you have to hate them? No. It just means you deal with them when you have to. You're kind, and then you deal with the other 15 that you like better when you can, and you're kind. Part of being a grown-up and growing up and becoming an adult in the world is getting along with people you may not like or may not have anything in common with. But it doesn't mean you should bully them, and it doesn't mean you should hate them. That's the difference. So what is the point of this video? I felt like I really wanted to talk to you about popularity and bullying and all of the junk that happens as a middle school student. I hope you got something out of this video, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. And if you have any comments, questions, or anything you want to talk about, please leave a comment below. I am happy to answer your questions. I will see you all real soon. Bye, guys.